or welcome back to my channel. This is going to be an energy update for June 12th, 2019. And I realized that in my last energy update video, I accidentally July 2nd, sorry, not the 4th. There's a lot of new energy that's coming in July that's going to be nothing we've ever experienced before. So this energy is off the charts, or it's going to be off the charts. And each wave has been increasing and building upon the last, and they're all important and they're all extremely powerful and they're all doing different things, but this one is something different, and I'm not really sure what to expect, but I've been getting messages that it's going to be massive. It's this new energy that's never been experienced on Earth, and it's various energy coming from different stars. So it's not just coming from our sun, it's other stars in our galaxy and beyond our galaxy that are having massive eruptions, and all of this plasma is coming to Earth. And we've got cracks in our magnetosphere. We've got a lot going on with the Schumann resonance of the Earth and the geomagnetic fields. And so this is all sort of culminating in this massive new energy. I've also been picking up on, I've been seeing a lot of volcanoes and magma. So I think it's already started to heat up the core of the Earth and cause a lot of this volcano activity. I think I heard somewhere, I think it was on Why So Serious 4D, I think that's her name. And she was talking about how Yellowstone Park's supervolcano was starting to show signs of activity. So, I mean, this stuff can be kind of scary when we think about it from a fear perspective. You know, we don't like the idea of destruction, but what I've been seeing in dreams and getting through messages and channeled information from my guides and from my higher self is very much about the necessity of this transformation, and that with destruction there will be new life, there will be abundance, there will be this purging and this cleansing that's taking place. So it's not anything to fear, and we will be protected from anything major and, really chaotic. So another thing to mention here is that we actually have the power to alleviate physical destruction. So a lot of what I'm picking up on is very much destruction at an energetic level. There's old timelines, old karma, past lives, like just so much destruction, the breaking down of the old everything, from relationships to ways of thinking to karmic ties to physical items or possessions to like family, past history with your family, past history and past lives, karmic things, ties, attachments of any kind. It's coming up now, and if it's something that you've been ignoring or putting on the back burner or covering up with other things, it's being forced now. It's like, this has to be done. We can no longer avoid it. It's happening now, and it's happening for a reason, because this destruction of the old is allowing for a construction of the new. And I've been seeing a lot of references of engineers and architects and master builders. So we're quite literally reconstructing our new reality. I've been having a lot of references to the Matrix, timeline jumping, the Mandela effect, alternate realities, parallel realities, deja vu, that kind of thing. So that's telling me that we are engineering the dream. I also was guided to watch Inception. So it's a dream within a dream, and we're the architects of this dream. We're also the participants in the dream. We are also the non-active characters in the dream. So it's all connected. Everything is connected. What you see outside of you is a reflection of where you're at an energetic level internally in your consciousness. So there's a lot of destruction, there's a lot of rebuilding, and this is really a grand undertaking. I saw the word grand in like 5 different locations in 5 different ways. It was just all over the place. So grand it's great, it's large, it's magnificent, it's monumental, majestic, glorious, the largest and most important of its kind. So this is what we're doing right now. This is a grand undertaking. This is our grand rising, and it may feel to some like a dark night of the soul, which it may be, but that's necessary. This gets us to where we need to be. So this is repositioning us. It's getting us on track. We are navigating constantly with our inner compass, which comes from our heart center. So it's not about what you think. It's about what you feel. It's really stepping into your heart center and allowing that to guide you forward, because your conscious mind might start to freak out. I'm losing these things that I'm attached to, or I have to let go of these old things that I'm not ready to forgive or to heal, or whatever it may be. But we're being asked to do that. And from a heart perspective, we understand why. Because our higher self sees the bigger picture and knows that these things have to happen for us to rise. You cannot rise if you're holding on to all this baggage. It'll be too heavy. You have to let it go. So this message of letting go has been coming forward really strongly in my own life, in the people around me, my close relationships, as well as I've been seeing it in tarot cards of my own pulling, as well as readers that I follow on Instagram and other YouTubers. It's all over the place. This is a collective theme right now. We're all going through it in our various own different ways. So your way of letting go may be different than somebody else's, but it's all the same underlying energy. It's the same underlying theme. I've also been seeing Trinity. So the Trinity, the triangle, the triquetra, the Celtic Trinity, and the spiraling Trinity. I think that's linked to Druidry and Celtic roots as well. And I've been getting this message that all you need is inside you. You have the power within you. Your mind and your imagination can solve any problem, overcome any obstacle. And I've been receiving guidance to dance through the fire. So dancing to me symbolizes grace. So it's tapping into this grace to move us through this transmutation, because the fire will not burn who you truly are. It will only burn away everything that you're not. So yeah, I've also been seeing a couple of places, and this has been over the course of the past week or so. I've been seeing France and Russia repeatedly, Los Angeles, California, Las Vegas, Nevada. I've been seeing, let me find my notes here. Texas yesterday came through quite clearly and quite prominently, as well as New York and Ontario. So there's a lot. I don't know what's going on in these locations. These could just be locations that are experiencing significant energetic purging, and therefore it may present itself in very physical ways. Floods, volcanoes, tornadoes, increased wind, earthquakes, landslides. That's kind of what I'm seeing. That's basically the Earth's physical way of purging this energy. And it's going to be beneficial for the souls in those areas. So it's nothing to fear. Obviously, take necessary precautions to protect yourself. I've also been seeing references to insurance repeatedly. So for those people, if you live in any of these areas that I've just mentioned, it may be calling you to go out and get some insurance right now, like physical insurance, so that your property is protected from damages, especially from any of the, natural disasters that I just mentioned. But at a spiritual level, this spiritual insurance, if you will, is about us knowing that we're protected, and that anything that is taken from us or that we are forced to let go of, or that these attachments are severed, whatever it is, it's going to be bringing forth new abundance. So for example, with physical insurance, let's say you have your car insured, your car gets damaged or it blows up. Like, I mean, that's an extreme example, but hypothetically, it blows up. You receive money, you receive compensation, and then you can go out and get a new car. So this is basically what's happening at a global scale, is that we have this spiritual insurance. We are protected from within. And so all of the stuff that's going on around us in our external world is just allowing us to shift out of that old energy. And then we're going to receive that insurance compensation from the universe through this abundance that we will be provided for. So everything we need going forward will be there. There's nothing to fear if you're losing stuff right now, or if things in your life are shifting. It's about having the faith and having the trust and knowing that going forward, you're being protected from what's not ultimately serving you, and you will be provided with what's going to be serving your highest good. So that's really a positive message, even though we are going through a bit of these tower moments. I've also been seeing lightning, like lightning striking. So that could be literal, as in the energy striking the planet, or this could be more metaphorical, more symbolic of that sort of tower moment. Because as we see in the depiction of the tarot, of the tower card, it's the lightning striking the tower and causing it to crumble, which is exactly what I've been talking about in this whole video, and it's the energy that we're in right now. So allow that lightning to strike, because ultimately that lightning is divine intervention. It's bringing you enlightenment. It could be bringing you inspiration and epiphanies, and it's deconstructing what is no longer a solid foundation so that we can build together a solid foundation. What else? I've been seeing feathers as well, so black feathers in particular, which symbolize protection, and butterflies, dragonflies. So there's a lot of transformation. There's a lot of bridging between different elements, working with different elements to create this bridge so that we can transition from fourth dimension to fifth dimension. So we're deconstructing a lot of the third dimension right now, and that third dimension is falling away. So I was also seeing a lot regarding this example in the form of dead trees still standing in a forest. So these trees are no longer living, they're no longer supporting life, but they're still there. And I was seeing that in the sense that the 3D reality is being deconstructed. It's being, the life is being taken out of it, so that we can move and grow this new earth, this 4D, 5D earth. But that shell, the remnant of the 3D, is still there. And we are in the process now of completely deconstructing it. And I think that the solar eclipse coming up next month is going to be monumental in the destruction of the old three-dimensional karmic ties that are keeping us stuck on that timeline, or keeping us in that old mentality, because it's all tied together. Your consciousness really plays the key role in where you're at physically. So if you shift your consciousness into a higher frequency, you are jumping timelines. So for those of you who don't know what the Mandela effect is, I highly recommend going and looking that up, diving down that rabbit hole, because it's really interesting. And it'll definitely, get you thinking. So that's very important right now. Let me see if there's anything else that's coming through. I think I've mentioned this before, but I keep seeing the harp. And so this, to me, speaks of sound healing. It speaks of angelic support, guidance, healing, protection. But I also found a reference, through synchronicity, of course, to Orpheus. Orpheus was the son of Apollo, who, this is Greek mythology, and he was able to play a harp so beautifully that he could soothe man and beast. And he was actually known for lulling Cerberus, the dog who protects Hades, the dog who protects the underworld, who has 3 heads. And it's funny because that's why J.K. Rowling used the harp initially in soothing Fluffy in what one was that? The Philosopher's Stone. So all of this really ties together into, well, first of all, the Philosopher's Stone being immortality, the elixir of life. And that's kind of, we're delving into the shadow world. We have to dive down into the underworld to realize our own immortality. We have to go through this death process to understand that we're not actually mortal beings. We are immortal. So death is just a transition. But in this sense, we're going through death in a very, I don't want to say a physical way because we're not physically dying, but we're going through the death process while still alive. And Aluna Ash has mentioned this as well. And I very much resonate with that message because that's kind of what's going on with the deconstruction. And there may be souls leaving this earth. That's their contract. That's what they've decided for themselves. Everybody is a sovereign God being, and everybody gets to choose what they want to experience. And if they don't want to experience, going forward, then they can choose to leave and just sort of watch from the sidelines or whatever it is. But those of us who have chosen to play in this game, we're on the field now. We're all on the field. Nobody's on the sidelines except for those who are on the other side. So basically Orpheus, he goes into the underworld and he's trying to retrieve his wife who passed away. And he's told that he'll get her back if he can walk back from the underworld to the surface without looking back. And he's like, yeah, I'm a patient guy. It's not that far. I can do it. And so he walks there. But throughout the journey, he starts to wonder if she's behind him because he can't hear her. And then he allows his mind to start playing tricks on him. And he's imagining that maybe the gods were lying. Maybe they didn't send her with him. Maybe she's not behind him. And he ends up getting all the way right to the portal that leads to that higher realm, which is like the surface world. And he loses his faith and he turns and he checks to see if she's there because he can't hear her. He can't talk to her. He doesn't know if she's there. And he turns around only to see her etheric self, her shadow self, whisked back into the underworld. So she was there the whole time. But because he didn't believe it, because he lost faith at the last second and turned around, he lost her. So this, to me, is a message of trust, of faith, doing the shadow work, trusting that we're going to be able to make it through this. This also speaks to me of soul retrieval work. So if you're being called to do really intense shadow work, that's a part of soul retrieval. So you're delving into aspects of your soul that were fragmented in different timelines, in different realities, parallel universes, worlds, whatever you want to call it. It's aspects of your soul that were fragmented from you. And so doing soul retrieval work is bringing those aspects back into your now self, your I am self in this present moment. So this is a message to just keep moving. We've got to keep going forward. We can't look back. We've got to let go of the past and move forward. That's the way that we're going to heal this. And we have the ability to achieve this goal. So that is so long as we keep the faith. So yeah, I hope that resonates with everybody. I also, there was another word that kept coming up, Ophiuchus, I don't know if I'm saying that right. I think this is another Greek mythology character, and it's also related to, this is related to, Ophiuchus is the 13th sign of the zodiac, and it's known as the Serpent bearer, which links to the caduceus, which is representing the kundalini, the balance of the divine masculine, divine feminine energies, the rising of the kundalini energy up to the pineal gland and the crown chakra to create this awakening. So there's this burst of energy that is going to allow us to ascend, essentially, like literally, quite literally, this energy is ascending within our energetic and physical body. And once it reaches the point that it will allow us to ascend at a spiritual level. So we're breaking open these portals, we're moving through these portals into unity. I've also been seeing 000 and 0 point energy, a lot to do with the field of potential. So this is us coming into a state of being where whatever we imagine is created, whatever we focus on becomes manifest. So this is why we're being told to let go of all that old stuff, because if we carry that with us, we're going to recreate it. And we don't want that. We don't want to recreate things that are difficult or painful, traumatic, fear-based, or that come from a lack mentality, or that come from anger or sadness. We want to create this new earth for ourselves in the consciousness of love, unity, peace, harmony, balance, equanimity, kindness, compassion, courage, strength, power within, and unconditional love. So this is where we have to create from. This is the space that is our truest expression of self. And coming back into that expression of self is going to unite all of us. We are all united underneath it all, but this is going to bring us into that conscious awareness of it and then allow us to move forward. So I was also seeing 2020. Keep in mind with dates and things like that, it's very individual. Your timeline may be different than mine, even though you're listening to this video and we seem to be existing in the same reality. It doesn't actually work like that. So for me to see 2020, it could just be for me or for people who are resonating at a certain frequency that is similar to mine at this current now moment, because that can change as well. It gets real complicated, guys. But 2020, I was picking up on a new Earth timeline. Mission completion, full realization of the God self and avatar consciousness, inner balance and transcendence of the shadow and ego, and this rainbow bridge activation coming from the heart center. Activation of the light body through the Merkaba, which is the spirit light body. And it's the vehicle that's going to allow us to transition, to ascend, to shift timelines, to shift dimensions, whatever you want to call it. I think that is everything that I wanted to talk about today. We're on the brink of something really big. It's much larger than just our Earth. It's much larger than just our galaxy. It's our entire universe, and there's a ripple effect. So, the effects that are taking place here on this plane of existence, in this timeline, on this earth, ripple out to all other dimensions, to all other timelines, to all other physical places and spaces in this timeline, and to other galaxies and universes. Because from my level of understanding, I believe that there are multiple universes. So take what resonates with you, leave the rest here. If you don't agree with this, then that's totally fine. You're just not on the same frequency, and there is no greater or lesser frequency. Everybody is exactly where they need to be for the level in their journey. And we're all in this together. There needs to be these variations for us to be able to understand all of the aspects and all of the fractals of ourself. But we're all one at the end of the day, and at the beginning of the day too. All right, guys. So thank you for listening. I hope that this brought some clarity, confirmation, enlightenment, hope, inspiration, or guidance to those who were drawn to click on this video and to listen to these words. If you would like to book a personal reading with me or a private healing session, I am a spiritual counselor, guide, intuitive tarot therapist, and holographic Usui Reiki master. I specialize in chakra clearing and alignment activations, releasing of old karmic patterns and timelines, and allowing your soul to be free to move forward and to level up if you're ready. All right, guys, thank you so much for listening. I love you. We'll see you next time. Bye.